Hi friends, I'm Aditi Taneja, a certified karma healing expert. I get a lot of questions from my clients regarding what is karma healing and what we can expect out of this. So I've created this video specifically to answer all those queries today. To begin with, let me tell you what karma healing is all about. Karma healing is a healing modality in which we use to relieve clients from their sufferings pertaining to relationship, health, and financial issues. So, what it does, it will not stop problems from appearing in our lives. We can't change or control the situations that are there in our lives. But what we can control is whether we get impacted, affected by those conditions or not. So, karma healing is a modality in which the situation remains the same, but it stops affecting you in the way it did before. Sometimes the frequency of the problem changes, sometimes the intensity changes. For example, if people used to have fights like every day in a week before taking karma healing, after the karma healing session, they have usually responded like the fights don't happen so often now. So basically, it happens either once a week or once in 2 weeks. So basically, what this means is that the frequency of the problem has reduced. If I were to take another example, a person had a fear of height. So earlier, the situation was that he used to have anxiety issues pertaining to that on a scale of 9 to 10. But after taking karma healing sessions, the intensity reduced to a scale of either 2 out of 10 or 4 out of 10. So in this case, the intensity has reduced. So, karma healing, in essence, if I were to say, is a spiritual surgery that we do to the clients. So, we try to make things better for them mentally, physically, and emotionally. So, here, if you take karma healing, you are basically opening up a possibility for yourself of exploring a modality which will work for you. So, for example, when you are facing ill health, what you go to a doctor. Here, in this case, when we are facing any sort of problems or issues due to our past karmas, the karmas of either this life or even past lives. So, when we try to heal those karmas, basically our issues start getting resolved. So, we work on ending the duality that a person is going through. So, duality basically means the difference between what is and what we want. So, if you want your life to be in a certain way, but it is actually in a different way, you will have a lot of frustration, anger, anxiety because of the differences. You want your life to be in a certain way, but God has some other plans for you, basis your past karma, past life karma, and things like that. So we try to reduce the duality. So basically, it's a possibility to reduce the suffering. So what we do is we will give you the healing, which spans for about half an hour to 45 minutes, sometimes even 1 hour. And after that, we also provide you with the tools which you can use regularly on a daily basis, which aids in the healing. So sometimes people ask, how do I know if my healing has been done properly? So here the trick is you have to surrender to the process. You have to surrender to the healing modality that we are using. You have to surrender to the person who's healing you. And don't compare your issues with others. So if you do these things and you also apply the tools that we provide you with, I'm sure you will get a good outcome. how it happens that when you go to a doctor for any ailment, you surrender and you trust the doctor that he will do a good job out of it. So here also, in the spiritual journey, in the healing process, we have to trust the doer and the process. So generally, if you resonate with a particular person, you would get an idea as to whether the person will be able to do work for you as per their aura. So basically, you get a sense of whether this is the right healer for me. So generally what happens is that in spiritual surgery, as we call it, people are not generally going through any physical pain, so they generally don't surrender that easily. Their egos or their some fears or insecurities or their intellect might try to interfere in the process. So it's my humble request that whenever you are going for any healing, you have to let go of the ego, of the intellect, of the fears and insecurities, and then only you will be able to get the best result of your healing. Another question that we often get asked is it guaranteed? So nothing in this world is guaranteed. See, the thing is that how healing works for different people is completely on an individual. So what we can assure you is that we will give our 100% to whatever is required to heal you. But it depends on how much the person or the client is open to receiving the healing. If you doubt the process, if you're not open and receptive to the healing, then it may take longer for you as compared to someone else who has completely surrendered to the process and is open to healing. So I would request that surrender to the process, apply the tools that we ask you to use, and I'm sure it will benefit you. Sometimes and the last thing is that once the healing is done, you must forget that you got the healing done. What I mean here is that sometimes people, what they do, they keep thinking in their mind that I've got the healing done, when will I get the results? Unfortunately, these kind of fears creates a lot of resistance. You can't reach anywhere with that fear. So sometimes people have a particular time frame in their mind that I will get the result in 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, a week, a month, or 5 months. They can have any time frame in their mind. But if they don't see the results within that expected time frame that they have, they start blaming the process or the healer. This is the recipe for disaster, because we as healers are doing our best and we have the best intent to help you in the best way possible we can. However, it is sometimes due to the person's own blockages, own resistances, that the person is not receptive that much to the healing. So sometimes it takes longer than what it might take for someone else. But again, don't compare yourself to anyone else. The thing is, if you are open, you have surrendered, you will get the result. And so I would just hope that I have tried to answer most of the queries. But lastly, another important aspect is that for any healing to take place, especially in this karma healing, we need to have the person's permission, and there has to be energy exchange. Energy exchange can happen if I am doing your healing, then it has to be charged, because that's how energy exchange happens in any type of healing, and it's very important that we do that. So sometimes people ask that, can I get the healing done for my parents, for my kids? So if the kid is less than 10 years old, then the parent can give us the permission for the kid's healing. If the parents are in a condition wherein they are, wherein you are the decision maker for your parents and they are not able to take decision for themselves, in that case also with your permission we can do the healing. But otherwise, in all other cases, the person himself has to give the permission for the healing. So I hope I have tried to answer as many questions as people could have in their mind with regard to this healing process. If there are any other questions regarding this, I would be more than happy to answer. Thank you so much.